Coming to you live from the Pensado Theater at the all-new SAE Los Angeles campus, Pensado's Place is brought to you by Vintage King, the Blackbird Academy, Audio Technica, Aftermaster, Isotope, Studio 202 DC, Avid, and The Recording Connection.
Today's guest is a key part of the wave of LA-based producers who are blowing up the scene. I got a chance to hang with Mixmaster Mike of Beastie Boys fame about the big night, updates on the Pensado Awards coming to you, new ITL from the Master Blaster. As Bruce Buffer would say, it's time. You're at the place, baby. It's Pensado's Place.
Yay. All right, tip your waitresses, drive safe, we'll see you next week.
And good night.
Man, how do I follow that?
I'm not sure. Give it back to me. And I'll
Okay,
just
it's yours. Do it again.
Well, I'll go forward. How about
Okay.
that? How time flies. Another week in audio land, which means we get to spend time with some of our favorite folk. Who are those folks? That would be you. Hello to you all. We thank you for your likes and subscribes and your engagement. Also, thanks to the very best partners in the world, Vintage King, the Blackbird Academy, Audio Technica, Aftermaster, Isotope, Avid, and the Recording Connection, of course, Studio 202 DC. The Blackbird summer and fall sessions are banging. They're full and all that kind of stuff on the studio side. Still some room open for enrollment in the live school. That's where the jobs are. So you might want to get to Karma at blackbirdacademy.com for that. Two guys named Dave and Herb are going to be down there. The Dave and Herb guys, do you know them? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, cool. Are they nice? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. They're gonna
nothing funnier than that. I'm sorry.
That's good enough. The two guys named Dave and Herb are going to be down there in the fall, and we're going to do some teaching in September. So again, go to Karma at theblackbirdacademy.com for that. That's Karma with a C, C-A-R-M-A. Let's meet our corner office guy. He's the hairy Hungarian. He goes by the name of Harry Hungarian. Chongor, how about our hang with Mixmaster Mike yesterday?
He was the coolest, nicest guy ever. Just no words.
Hard to say, right?
Exactly.
And he's such a beast when he performs.
Ridiculous.
The Pensado Awards are going to be, I'm telling you, man.
Ooh.
They're in
for it.
So big kudos to him, Eric Gorfey and his wife. We're going to bring the noise to you. Speaking about the Pensado Awards, 40 some odd days out and counting. Again, Mixmaster Mike is going to be in the house. Chongor and I were like little kids in awe of a guy who's going to absolutely rip it. Nominations are up, and it's an illustrious group. We're really proud of that. There's still time to get in your pictures for Unique Project Studio. Send those to info@pensadosplace.tv. Got some great ones, but haven't selected yet, so you still have time to get them in and get them moving. Also, if you're a studio or school or recording program, you can enter your favorite assistant, intern, and runner for the AIR Award. That's an award that's very popular with the press and with other folks, so you want to get your folks in there. There's a chance for you to do something for somebody who works very hard for you. Tell us in a paragraph what makes them special. Also send that to info@pensadosplace.tv. Get those in right away. You still have a couple of weeks to get them in. Our host that night, the rock and roll acronym CLA, Mr. Chris Lord Algie. Another indie rocker, Sylvia, don't let the pearls fool you, Massey. She's a bad girl. And the hip hop don himself, Young Guru. One more host to announce. We hope to announce that this week because Dave and I are stalking this guy and we're going to get him one way or the other.
Yep.
Plenty of fun stuff. VIP reception for the VIPs, but a really cool Aftermaster reception for all you enthusiasts. It'll be in the Aftermaster Theater. You can bring a piece of music on your phone and we'll have it Pro Mastered, which is a division of Aftermaster. You can try on an Oculus headset and have an amazing virtual reality experience. Go in the social media booth, get pictures of you and your honey, post them away. You'll get interviewed by Graham Cochran from Recording Connection, or from Recording Revolution, or Music Connection, or the Urban Buzz, or plenty of folks who we're going to have there, or just hang with some of the pros, have a cocktail, chill out. then the next thing you're hearing is this sound. That is the call to Cali Park. You'll walk out of the theater. You'll go into this big outdoor park. We're going to turn up the show, celebrate the best in audio from around the globe. And then once we do that, and we're going to try to bring the house down, you'll turn around and go into the lair for the after party. Mixmaster Mike up against Young Guru. They are going to compete against each other. I'm going to put a camera on Young Guru. We're going to call it GTV. He's going to record it all. Party rules are in full effect, and you know them. Look good. Men bring the swagger. Ladies bring the class, pizzazz, and heat. Booties bumping, male and female. Mascara melting, which means you're dancing hard. And just have a grand old time. When and where? The Sony Movie Lot, Sunday, August 30th, 7 p.m., Culver City, California. Tickets are just $50, but going very, very fast. For any and all info, head to pensadoawards.com. You'll find out about hotels. You'll find out about the receptions. You'll see the nominees. You'll see the pro committee. Whatever you need is right there, and we will see you there. It's going to be a good time. DP, what's the ITL, my man?
I don't really know why, but I did one on how to turn delays into reverbs.
Oh, that's a good predicate in setting it up. Roll it.
Hey guys, one of my favorite engineers is Eric Thorngren, and Eric would make entire records that seem like, I don't know for sure, but it sure sounds like Addicted to Love, Robert Palmer, some of that stuff. He used a lot of delays, and he would make delays do the same things reverbs would do, but the way he used them was incredible. Not sure exactly how he did it, but I'm gonna give you kind of an homage to him. Don't make me spell homage, I don't know how. Here's a guitar part I love. This is from my buddy's sound parlor. I love the noise on that. It's so cool, so cool. Great part. I'm gonna play you this song as soon as I finish mixing it. Now check this out. I wanted to try something a little different, so I put an Echo Boy. You can do any plug-in will work. But if you'll notice, I've got a really short delay time, around 17 milliseconds. And look at my feedback. It's cranked. My high and low cut, right? Now, I'm putting that on the left side. This is on the right side. So I got about 20 milliseconds. On the right side, let's use a little less. You know what? Let's reverse this. Let's leave the low end here. Let's bring this up a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send to these two from the guitar part. So check this out. I think it's so cool. I was experimenting with this and I kind of got the feedback a little too much, but watch this. You know what? It doesn't sound that good by itself, but watch this. I'm gonna mute the original signal. Here's just the effect. Play around with it, have some fun. Try it on a vocal. It might sound good to give you kind of like a little Elvis-style slap back. And of course, anything you want to make wider. And by the way, it's got great mono compatibility because we're past the Haas effect numbers. So check that out. All right.
We got a chance to spend some time with one of the most authentic, honest, real guys on the planet, and just an amazing talent. Take a moment, enjoy our conversation with Hit Boy. We got super lucky this week with our booking specialist out combing the woods for us. Started at MySpace, local homegrown boy, and on his way to multi-platinum. Absolutely has changed the game. We are thrilled to welcome to this desk Hit Boy. What up, man? Yeah, man. Happy.
Did I just do that?
Yeah, you did. That's when Dave is being black. That finger is his black finger.
Dave's fan.
What's black about that? That's an emoticon.
No, we understand.
Oh, that's an emoticon.
No, that's a 9mm. So anyways, fire away there, sir.
Man, great to see you. It's been a while since I've hung out with you.
You too, man.
I still can't believe how you went from MySpace to Polo to Don to different camps. It's like.
And Polo said, "Let's get this cash."
Let's get this paper.
Let's get this paper.
That was his first. That was in the subject line.
You said, "Yeah, that's my kind."
I worked for him during that time period.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we did a Mary J. Blige mix.
Mary J. Blige.
Polo and him. He did all the work, of course. Polo just sits and does Laker shit all day long.
Oh, no, that's my kind of guy.
He gonna debate you about Kobe all night.
All day. Yeah, that's his thing.
Of course, we love Polo, but can that be done today? I mean, how would a young kid coming along get to where you got? It's a little different today, isn't it?
I mean
obviously
definitely,
MySpace
it's always shifting, it's always changing, but I feel like the concept is still there. You still got all these social media platforms from Snapchat to Twitter and all that stuff, and I use them myself to continue to get my brand out there and just kind of people want to see what you're doing on the daily. So you could be doing the most random of things and just kind of letting people in on what you have going.
You know what we learned, which I think you're underscoring, is that you're really creating relationships with people, right?
Most
you got to check in with them. They want to check in with you. You want to update them.
Yeah, I've had relationships, since MySpace, like not only Polo, but like I met my man Chasing Cash on there.
Right.
Made a bunch of records with my homegirl Stacey Barth. We formed a clique off of, basically meeting on MySpace and stuff.
Amazing.
So, just you can use it to your advantage, man.
And that was the first go around of MySpace, not the second one, right?
That was 06. This was 06 when I met Polo, and he hit me up. It's funny because I had just heard the London Bridge record that he did for Fergie, and I wanted to know who did it. I didn't know who did it, so I looked it up, found his MySpace, just followed him, didn't think nothing of it, went to church, came back home, had a message, let's get this paper in my email, in my inbox.
What church you go to?
I went to a church out in Rancho.
Cool.
Can't think of the name.
That's
right
all right.
now.
Jesus was there. That
Jesus
makes
was there,
no
man.
question. Wow.
So after Polo, you went into a couple of camps. Like I'm just fascinated to ask everybody that's on the show about this camp thing because it seems like you did it a little different. You approached the camp a little different.
I kind of was always the kid who just people wanted them to be down with their clique, you know what I'm saying? Like with Kanye, with good music, it wasn't like a super planned out thing. It just like we had a natural energy when we worked on music, so it just made sense for us to build a more tight relationship. So me signing to good music and being there for those couple years I was there really helped me grow as a person, as a musician, as an artist, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. It just had to really just get to that level because it's a high level Kanye runs at.
That's right.
So just to be a part of that, it helped me grow a lot.
You know what I liked about what I've read about you is that, and this is something that you guys should pay attention to. You have to learn how to walk into a room. You have to learn how to leave. And you, right?
That's true, isn't it?
You're able to leave and keep relationships and so on and so forth, and not have to have bridges burnt down. Is that an important thing to learn for a young person?
Man. Yeah. And I feel like, as long as you're doing what you say it is you do, people know me for producing, so when I come in a room, I'm gonna have at least a few ideas that you like, you know what I'm saying? And if you can do that, then you'll always be all right, you know what I'm saying? Because if you can, move the average human being,
You're good.
You'll be straight.
And then you went from good music and then like to Interscope and other kinds of places. I think people know when somebody I've always been attracted to the kind of talents that want to build things.
Yes.
And that can be either the music you make, the way you observe an artist and how you think you can develop it. Because, you know, that stuff is in your DNA.
Oh, yeah.
It's not something you can do just because you think you should do it for money.
Most definitely.
Like, I tell people all the time, see if this makes sense. Tell me if you believe this is true. When a star walks in a room, you can feel the air move. But you have to have the instinct to recognize that. Like,
Exactly.
I used to tell my staff, we don't need to discuss a hit. If a hit is played, we're all going to go,
yeah.
oh my God. If we need to talk about it, it ain't quite there yet.
Yeah, once you can lock into that though, you know, that's when you on the easy road. You know what I'm saying? Because if you start to think too much, it's most likely not gonna turn out to be what you want it to be. Like most of my hits, you know, came from songs that I wasn't in there stressing so much about, and I wasn't like, oh, I need to make Beyonce the best beat ever. I need to make Kanye the best beat. It was like some stuff that I had that I felt cool about, and they felt the same way, you know. And the stuff that I feel like I was in there really trying to bust my, you know, brain to do, like it never ended up going anywhere.
See, to me, it's kind of like, you know, you're talking about Polo's a basketball fan. We're basketball fans. You like sports?
Most definitely.
And I think that when you're instinctively operating as an athlete is when you have your best games. When you're thinking about, I'm going to take you to the hole and all that kind of stuff. But when you just rolling, balls coming off your hand, you're a step quicker. Those are the things that happen, and you don't even know it till the game's over. And you go,
you play off the energy that's there, that's versus thinking about it and overthinking yourself out of a victory.
So it's similar creative stuff in the studio. That's the same feeling?
Most definitely.
How did, on Jay-Z and Kanye, how did, I might need some help on this, African Americans in Paris come about?
Paris, it's funny, like I said a second ago, I went in the studio with them for a few weeks. We flew to Abu Dhabi, went to New York. We was just, you know, traveling together, making all this music. And none of the stuff that I was really in there like, oh, this is going to be for Watch the Throne or whatever project, none of that stuff ended up anywhere. Paris was a beat that one of my homies from Pomona, Chili Chill, rapped on.
Is that right?
We're about to put it out on a mixtape. And literally, I got a call from Don C, who works with Kanye, like, oh, I need the files for this. Jay and Kanye hopped on it. And after that, I got a few emails from Kanye, like, I can't wait for you to hear this song. And, you know, it ended up being Paris, man.
You know what? I looked it up in Wikipedia. That's not quite the title.
That was a big deep breath.
You did really good. You did good.
I was ready to go.
No, you did good.
I was like Brian Gumbling it.
Well, go ahead, Brian.
More like Barbara Walters. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, so when you've been at it for a minute, right, and you've had a lot of success, because I want to hear about your process and how you know where you start and what you sort of focus on. There's a whole other side of having to learn how to handle success when you're young. Is that true?
Oh, most definitely.
Because it can trip you up if you make the wrong move.
You know, and it's funny because, you know, people kind of from the outside, they look at it like, oh, your shit's been going smooth. But it's like, to me, it's this rocky climb because I'm always trying to challenge myself. And I don't get too caught up on just any one concept. So I'm always just pushing for the next. And it's a certain place I saw myself in when I was younger that I'm still feeling like I'm trying to, you know, grind towards. So it's like, you know, and also I use it as motivation just to keep going and keep getting better.
Right.
Man, if you're comfortable sharing this, I love the concept that you want to give your dad a better life. Can you kind of
Yeah, I mean, that's always been
that?
since I was a kid, you know, just he was locked up from the time I was 3. So, and he's like this super just like thug, like the epitome, like it's not a fake, it's not an act. When you're around him, you feel the energy, you know what I'm saying? He's a good guy, but he's naturally in him to be a pit bull. So, you know, it's just like from that rhetoric and talking to him over the phone, I have that instilled in me, certain sayings that he would say, like, you know, certain things. And we have a crazy dynamic, man. Like it's more like a brother type thing than a father-son, but just, you know, it's just happening. I've always wanted to have just like a real father, you know what I'm saying? So I'm doing the best I can with what I've built myself up to. That's
incredible,
to,
man.
you know, have, you know, a platform for us.
You still talk to him?
Yeah, most definitely. We've made music together. Right now, you know, he's locked up again, you know what I'm saying? A free big hit, but
does he have a chance to see this?
Yeah, like it's funny because we made a song called Grinding My Whole Life, and it came out on iTunes, and it's got a bunch of views on YouTube and stuff. But just like when I go out and I run into different rappers, I run into different people, they're like always, first thing they say, where's Big Hit? Where's your dad? Like,
Is that
they
what they
love
call
him,
it, Big Hit?
Big Hit, yeah. So
man, look, where's my camera?
Wait a minute, I just dawned on me. Big Hit, and that's his son, Hit Boy.
yeah,
So
Is that the way it came
Big
about?
Hit.
pretty much. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So Big Hit, let me just tell you something. You should be very proud of this cat to my left, because I'm telling you, a guy who keeps that focus, you've done some really good work. We'll work on all the other stuff because you're authentic. That's an amazing statement that in the 5 years we've done this show, really the only other person I've ever heard say that is Chongor. Had that discussion with me in a car once. Big props for that. Big props.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, it is.
I've always been curious, like back in the day when you would send beats out, how many beats would you send out? Like 20? 30?
A bunch more than that, hundreds,
40?
hundreds,
Really?
man. Like it's funny, like just the conversation a second ago, man. Like just always, having that burning desire to go to the next level. You don't really see what you're really doing. You know what I'm saying? Like when Paris was made, or Click was made, or Flawless for Beyonce, like I don't, sometimes I get caught in a moment, but for the most part, I'm looking for the next thing. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to I want people to love my music. So, it's just about, I just be chugging away, man.
Does your process start with the beat? Where do you usually start? Depends.
My process starts however it starts.
Whatever
man. Like
hits
it might
you.
be keyboard, it might be drums, it might be Fruity Loops, it might be an acapella. It depends. It's just really. And another thing I was talking to Dave a second ago. Just with my process, I don't try to get too caught up in things being too organized.
Right.
I just like to create, like my drum kits might not be organized. I might just be all over the place, but that helps me, to not sound the same every time. A lot of my beats don't sound the same, different tempos, different whatever, it's just about me not getting too locked in to, this is my kit I'm using right now. It's like I'm always using different things to just try to be different.
You know what? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you know what's consistent about what you
My
said?
breath was deeper than yours.
You know what? Let me shut up. Go ahead. What's amazing about everybody who has sat in that chair, which we're blessed, it's been a lot of people, consistently, which I think is a lesson to the folks at home, people who are really good, excuse me, embrace the fact that it needs to be instinctive.
Yes.
The mistake might be the cool thing.
The mistake is usually the cool thing.
Usually the cool thing, right? And don't try to get too perfect. Don't get so technical that it's.
Exactly.
I have a good friend of mine who is so musical, but he's so perfect. I was like, man, if I could just punch you and hurt you or something, so that you weren't quite perfect, your music would have a different feel. So I think that's really instructive for people who are coming up,
100%.
because the technology sometimes makes you too rigid.
Exactly. And I just had the conversation with my homies, like everything's so computerized, and the hi-hats and the triplets and all that. It's kind of like, that's why things sound the same. So I've been using Contact lately. I've been using Machine, just like doing live MPC type drums. So it's like really natural.
So you're using Machine?
I've been using Machine for my drums lately, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Seems like a lot of people are going back to pads, aren't they? Because
exactly.
We've had several people on that are going back to the old MPC.
So it's just not so computerized out. You know
get
what
a
I'm
human
saying?
feel, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It feels to me like in the music that we like, you can always tell how old the song is by listening to the snare sound and the kick drum sound. So we put a heavy emphasis, even in rock, on the sound of the kick and snare to kind of determine the genre and how old the song is. It's a lot like a cell phone and a video. You know within a year how old the video is by looking at the damn cell phone. Right. How do you go about choosing sounds for your kicks and snares?
Honestly, I just put a bunch of them in front of me, and whatever
And
ones
where
stick
do you
out.
get 'em? Where do you get those
I've been
sounds?
collecting sounds since I was 16. I'm 28 now, so 12 years. And it's funny, I just made a beat the other day with some sounds that I chopped up literally 12 years ago.
No joke.
That I've had since I was 16. And I wasn't able to make a beat with these sounds until like last week. So it's like nothing is ever, out of style. Nothing is ever out of use. It's just about, when is that energy in the room going to lead you to do, what you need to do.
When you when projects come to you, do you do the same thing? Do you sort of go by feel, or I want to work with this artist, or I like this song, or I take this challenge?
All of that.
Yeah,
you know
it just depends on what it
It's
is.
timing, you know what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying?
true.
All of that stuff. Just whatever makes sense, that's
Right.
what I'm doing. And
Right.
whatever I'm naturally motivated by, you know?
Yeah, because
When you're creating a beat, do you have an artist in mind, or you're just creating a beat?
Most times, like I said, most of my hits are songs that I didn't really have anyone in mind. I just was making music that's to the best of my ability at the time, and it ended up turning into what it turned into.
do you ever use sort of the analog side and do stuff with live instrumentation?
Most definitely.
Do you? Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Most definitely bring in
Drums,
guitarists,
guitar,
bring in
piano,
bass, everything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Can I come watch a session one day?
100%,
Okay,
man.
cool.
That's the
'Cause I'm
easy
coming.
part.
All right, I'm coming for sure.
I watched him once.
You did. You worked with me. I just want to sit in the back of the room.
Let's go back a little bit. We both love Scott Storch, you know, and recently it seems like a lot of people are rediscovering how talented Scott was. But that was a big influence on you, Scott was. Who are some other influences, and how do you use your influences?
Definitely, it's like, for me, it's like a big melting pot, you know what I'm saying? From the underdogs who had this, they always had crazy bridges on their songs, you know what I'm saying? Really crazy chords.
Yeah.
Then go to, you know, the Neptunes and their grooves and the type of sounds they were using. And Timbaland, just the creativity. I just kind of like take certain little things and elements from each person that I was inspired by. Like, it started off as just being a kid. I was trying to recreate their stuff. So I had a point where all my beats sounded like Neptune's beats. All my stuff sounded like Timbaland. All my stuff sounded like underdogs. And then I just kind of took certain things and just made it my own flair.
People never knew what Chad contributed to the Neptunes. They didn't really know. Like, I used to sit with him a lot, and Chad would do
is
Chad
genius, man.
Yeah, he sure
Genius.
is. Genius cat, no question.
I know there's an obvious pun here somewhere, but has what we call a hit changed? It seems like we're slower. Where a lot of things are really morphing into like this. In my opinion, some of the best music ever is coming out right now.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like right now we at a point where people just got to be creative, and you can be creative because you got things right there at your, you know, the tip of your fingers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you might get a Fetty Wap who just comes out with a monster smash out of nowhere. Nobody knew who he was. You know, it's like, it don't really matter about the nuances, you know, as much as it used to. Now it's like, if you got a feeling and you're moving to people. I remember the first time I heard the Fetty Wap record, Trap Queen. It was in New York. It was at the club, and I'm like, what is this? And all these girls were going crazy, so I had to pay attention.
Absolutely.
You know I'm ratchet, right?
I know you ratchet.
Okay, just want to make sure.
The epitome of ratchet.
Speaking of high energy people, what was it like working with Travis Scott?
Travis, man, I've known Travis since like he had short hair and shit. Like, that's my homie for real. Like, he used to come to my crib. Like, we've just been building for years, you know. So just to see him in the position he's in right now, it's really motivating. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I've watched a lot of people go from not being stars to being stars, but just like really watched him from just being an excited kid just to be around. He came to one of my mixing sessions. Anthony Kilhofer was mixing a song for me. My first rap song I ever dropped, a joint called Jay-Z Interview. It was some years ago. Came in, he was excited to be having a meeting like with a label. And, you know what I'm saying? Then it turned into, he's Travis now, man. And it's dope to see.
Wow.
Leandra, my assistant, and I think we had about a 3 hour, I can't say this in front of Herb. We had about a 3 hour video marathon watching Travis's live performances.
Oh, that's why that mix didn't get delivered. Okay, cool.
But that energy, man, if you could bottle that, you know, I mean, I don't.
He got that energy.
I know.
In the studio, he got that energy on stage, man. It's just, I feel like it's needed. It's that youth. It's that just it's natural for him. So you know, it's dope to
That
see.
youth like you're old or something.
What's that?
You said that youth like you're old and he's young.
I
You're
mean, a little bit.
young
28.
young
Like
as he
28.
is, man.
You know what? Let's see if Shungor, you got a question over in the corner office?
Yeah, I do.
Give us one.
This
Give us
first
a
one's from,
couple.
what did you say?
Give us a couple.
We definitely got a couple.
Cool.
This first one's from Amadeus Murphy. What do you do to find inspiration when you can't come up with musical ideas?
That's me.
Yeah.
Honestly, do things outside of music. You know what I'm saying? If I'm just like at the point where nothing is working, I'm going outside. I might go shoot a basketball. I might go swim. I might go do whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of just always let it be organic and natural. Like sometimes I'll go to
I can't no more, you know what I'm saying? And if I can't think of nothing, I'll just go do regular stuff.
Great advice for you guys at home. If sometimes when you hit that wall, change your scenario, right? Like I would see you leave the studio sometimes.
Well, creativity is the same whether you're doing a beat or a novel or a movie or fill in the blank, and it's all the same. And that process can just get sidetracked so easy. And in our world, we got so many distractions. And then I live in a world of blinking lights, so that any shiny, blinky thing.
It's not even like you trying to have distractions, but other work could distract you. You know what I'm saying? Which is like that's the gift and the curse. It's just about balancing it all out.
Absolutely.
Another thing that fascinates me is this concept of being an artist and being a producer, because I tried to do that early on in my career, and I was a disaster. I just couldn't. I just could do one or the other. I've never been able to do two things. How do you balance that, and what do you get from it?
I'm at the point where I'm just honestly figuring it out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be an artist before I was a producer, but I got so, just engulfed in that world and just like, it became successful at it. That's that's the cap, I guess people kind of put on me. So it's been, trying to find a balance of taking time away from the production while it's so hot though, you know what I'm saying? Like to do my own stuff and to really focus in on the things that I've been wanting to accomplish. Right. So,
wow.
So a song like Golden, A$AP Rocky, take me through the process. You go in your studio. Was that a track that was one of many?
I had the beat, and I think it was the first beat I played. We linked up at a studio, my man Hector spot up in Van Nuys. It's a small spot. And I think that was the first beat I played, and A$AP just went in the booth and literally like freestyled those flows, and it turned out to be Goldie.
Wow.
Can you make something up?
Well, that's why I want to go to I just want to sit in the corner and just watch. Like,
I didn't have another question ready. I was expecting a longer answer. But that doesn't always happen.
Nah, not always. Like I said, like there's things that I've worked on for days or weeks, you know what I'm saying, that didn't turn out to be anything, you know what I'm saying? Or if it did, it's like people didn't like it as much as I thought they would. So it's like not getting too locked into one concept or one song or something working one way. There's different successes for different things, and also, it's a personal thing. I got caught up, after Paris, like thinking that if it wasn't that level, then it wasn't successful. That's almost, setting me up for failure at the end of the day.
That's a big lesson, right?
So I had to really learn like to scale back and just like keep it about the artist, not about, everything winning me a Grammy or everything being at Paris level.
Yeah. Interesting.
Of all the people that you've sent beats to, who's the most picky?
Drake. I've been sending Drake beats for almost 10 years. And he rapped on a Justin Bieber song I did, and then we did the Trophies joint, which didn't make his album, but you know what I'm saying? It's still, people, he performs it at festivals and people love it, so,
Do you play anything?
Play keys, yeah.
Okay.
And I again taught myself just from internet. You're looking at YouTube,
and that's how you taught yourself keys?
Yeah, people tend to think that I came up playing in church, but I just kind of grew up in church. I wanted to play, but I wasn't focused enough. I wasn't there. But once I started producing, I wanted to do those underdog type bridges and changes and have that feel. So I was, learning from different people, but just on YouTube and on.
So let me ask this question see if this is an advantage or not. One of the things I always loved about Dre's production is that Dre would actually make the production, there'd be so much melody in other things he was doing inside the track that he would lock you up and own you.
Instantly.
Hook after hook was coming at you. It was hitting you every way.
I'm
and you didn't
still
know why.
trying to figure out how to make chronic level music.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Just
but playing a keyboard allows you to sort of look at it from a melodic standpoint, and then you can apply it in what. That's what it feels like. Is that close to it? Okay.
Yeah, most definitely. And just, being influenced by a lot of R&B earlier and a lot of gospel and a lot of quality stuff. So just trying to capture, what made me feel excited as a kid, I guess.
Right. Now, go ahead. You had something?
Yours is better.
Well, no, I was going to say, he likes sports, you like sports, you have a batter's box thing, you're a pitcher, correct? Today. And he's been known to sort of knock balls out of the park, like it's triple or above. So I'm curious to see how this goes down. He's an LA
I'll
bred.
make it easy for you. I quit.
Okay, cool. Then he and I'll talk about stuff. So you got a batter's box for him?
Feel like the other team from the Globetrotters.
Which was the Washington Generals.
Yeah.
And they were designed to lose every game. All right, batter's box is
I got a
rolling.
feeling he's gonna smoke this one.
Here we go.
Oh man, here we go.
Bass.
Bass. Running.
What do you like to use for bass? Anything? Keyboard?
I use Trilogy. I like Trilogy, and then I use one shots. Yeah.
Snare.
Pop.
There you go.
Loops.
Absolutely.
Loops.
Not
Groove.
I was going to say fruity.
Groove.
Groove.
Yeah.
Synthesizers.
Omnisphere.
808.
808. One shots. Dirty, messed up one shots.
Nasty. Yeah.
Plugins.
Wave Shaper from Fruity Loops.
Tempo.
Tempo 140.
Is that the
you
spot?
that fast?
I like 140,
Okay.
man.
But you're doing
It's
a halftime
bouncy.
at 70 though, right?
No, I do 140.
Okay, but okay, cool.
Yeah.
If your studio caught fire and your hard drives were already out of the studio, what one piece of gear would you save?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably my laptop, because my desktop is always dirty, full of MP3s, waves,
Mixtapes.
mixtapes.
They still
I think
important?
of Gangsta Grills, Don Cannon, DJ Drama,
Kick drums.
kick drums, the dirtiest, filthiest I can find.
What's your engineer's name?
I got a couple, but my man John and then my other man Hayes.
Yeah, I kind of smoked you. But he's sort of
I
quiet.
feel like I could have did better, but you know.
But you're quiet the way you do it. You know how some players you go, you look
thought
at
you did great.
you look at the line afterwards and you go, wait, he got 20 and 16. I didn't see.
When he
it
said
coming."
bass, I'm thinking he was like talking about a baseball diamond because he was just talking about the baseball.
Right. Well, see, that's why we try to talk about it beforehand.
That's weird because I thought that is the deepest answer I've ever heard.
Of all the
He
batters,
shouldn't have said nothing. I'm thinking, man, I know Hit Boy. He's on another level now.
yeah.
That's some Polo to Don stuff.
Uh,
In the way it is, isn't it?
right.
Your answer.
One of the things that we've, because of guests like you and an audience like that, we've been afforded a lot of opportunity to get in front of people and sometimes help people, sometimes teach people. But as much as they may want to hear from Dave or hear from me, they really love hearing from you. And guys like you inspire them.
Right.
So, you know, if I start to stalk you and we're going to do a live event someplace and want you on the panel and stuff like that, would you come do that with us?
Let me know, man. I'm there.
I would love to have you.
I love what y'all got going over here too, man. The whole setup is fresh. The logo's fresh.
Oh, cool, man.
Like the red mugs.
Cool.
man.
Well, you know what? It's actually guys like you who tell us if we still have value among the community. Literally, because if we don't hear it from you, it's really easy to sit here with the lights and stuff and go, "Oh, we killing it." But when you hear folks who say, "Hey, man, people love you all and they watch the show and stuff like that,"
It's funny. Like I feel like I like manifested this because I literally just saw the mustard thing and I'm like, that's fresh. But I had been seeing it since it came out. You know,
Right.
just knowing about
Right.
Dave and knowing Dave. Just to be on here right now is definitely an honor, man.
And man, it's an honor to have you. If you could have heard the way we squealed the 2 nights ago when he got your number and said you were coming on,
Yeah,
we were like,
You squealed.
yeah, I did squeal. Well, you just know the folks that are going to touch. Hopefully August 30th you can come to the Pensado Awards.
Exactly.
Will you be there?
I'm there,
I'm going to
man.
have some plans for you.
All right.
All right, that's going to be really cool. How cool was today?
Real cool for me. You know, listen.
And you all have connections.
Yeah,
that
let's
go
end
back.
this together because.
Okay. Should we hold hands?
So.
Have grease. We put grease in our hair, so there's some that's left over.
So I'm getting serious, man.
Okay.
One of the cool things about doing this show is it gives me an excuse to reach back to people that I admire and respect, and Hit Boy and I have history, and I want our audience to know that he did it the right way. He just outworked everybody. He didn't try shortcuts. Shortcuts can get you a little bit up the mountain, but you're gonna fall back down eventually. And just seeing your success and seeing how you've taken that, and you've taken a steady. It's just like every 6 months I see your name again, and big record, man. I gotta call him.
Appreciate it.
And I'm just so proud of you because you did it the right way. And then the story about your dad.
I was going to say. So that's one side of the coin. Let me tell you the other side, because I'm meeting him for the first time. When you're honest about who you are and where you come from and what values you espouse and so on and so forth, that goes into your music.
Yeah.
That's something that is hard to learn when this is a game where if you hustle good and so on and so forth, you think you can get there. Like you said, that's short term. Mm-hmm. That's a shortcut. When you know who you are and where you've been and you stand for something, you'll fall for nothing. Yeah. And as much as I'm a fan and as much as I think you're brilliant and as much as your stuff about your dad,
that's love, man.
Big stuff.
That's huge.
Take us home.
Man, build your career by being yourself, because the easiest thing in the world is to just be yourself. and it's a lot like meeting a girl for the first time and telling her that you make $20 million a year, and that rolls out in the back is actually yours, and then she actually likes you, and then now you got a relationship, and now you got to backpedal all that stuff.
And then the rental company comes and gets the Rolls Royce.
Right. And in the creative world, in the music space, if you want credibility and longevity, check up on this guy to my
Big
left.
hit, be proud. Be proud, big hit.
Yeah.
We're proud.
Hey,
Absolutely.
man, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All day.
Oh, man.